Yeah, looks like I'm live. All right, here we go. First, I gotta wax on, wax off, paint the fence. Yeah, okay. All right, so looks like I'm live. I believe so. So here we go. Yeah, it's something new. So today I'm gonna do something to find out what the next app is gonna be first. Like I'm starting this with just a very vague idea of what I'm actually gonna pick for my next app. The app from yesterday ran into a lot of problems, but those problems caused me to learn a lot. So yeah, basically, like when I first started this, I was getting frustrated when I hit problems, but now I know when I hit problems that those are the best learning experiences, just like so in life. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Is like from now on, like I mean, I'm not gonna try to do the easiest thing every day. I'm gonna try to, try to push myself to do something that's a little bit more difficult than the day before each day. And hopefully I do run into problems because that's how I learn, and hopefully I'm able to fix them too. So yesterday, really, I made the app right away, but I realized that I didn't do enough planning because the way the app came out was not the exact idea I had, and I feel like if I would have planned it more before I would have started it, it would have been better and it would have been more what I was trying to do. So it came out maybe like 80% of what I wanted. But then when I went to try to change it, that's where I was running into problems. And then I realized like when I did try to fix the bugs with Claude Code, I should have switched over to a better version. I was using an ease like the 3.5, I think it was, and that's quicker for just basically like creating stuff. But I should have clicked over to 4.6, and thanks to the give thanks to the people in the comments that mentioned that. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't even have realized it. 4.6 for fixing the bugs. So yeah, I'm gonna be starting on the same setup I had yesterday. Basically, I'm gonna change the screen right now. Yeah, basically, as you can see, I got on the left is going to be the cursor, and then on the right is going to be the terminal where I would use Claude Code. Okay, so today, yeah, what I'm going to do is different because yesterday, like, I kind of already had the idea, and I think those tools were valuable, but it didn't provide as much value as when I thought about it as like a different area of tools. So what I want to do today is focus on a first finance tool, and I want to do like at least like 5 to 10 different finance tools. Just because like I feel like I would get more value out of these than something like what location to go to in a city, um, or like where to park. Like I can already figure that out. Like that's super easy. What I want to do is make tools that I can actually use, like kind of like making money really. I mean, like I already understand finance pretty well and like investing and trading, so I think that I would be able to come up with really good ideas that people could use, basically to make money with finance, or to save themselves time doing research with buying stocks, trading, whatever they're trying to do. So I'm basically going to walk through with you the research, the steps I'm going to take to figure out what idea I'm going to use. And what I'm going to do with that is I've got today, yesterday I was just using Gemini, and today I'm going to be using Claude Code, or I'm sorry, Claude and Gemini with my coding that you can see on my screen. I'm going to keep the coding box up, but I'm going to have I'm gonna have the AI research that I'm doing off the screen, unless it's something that I think is super important. Then I'll move the screen over. But yeah, I think for now this is good, and I'm just gonna check to make sure everything's running right. Yeah, okay. Looks like it is. Yeah, it shows I'm streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. So yeah, either whatever platform you want to go on. Feel free to comment on either platform. I wasn't seeing it yesterday, but now I should be able to see it. So yeah, I got the chat open. Going live. Gotta thrive and survive every time. Yeah, so here we go. I'm gonna go into Google Gemini. Yeah, I really wish Claude had a function so I could just talk to it and I didn't have to type. But since it doesn't, when I want to use Claude, I'm gonna switch over to just Microsoft Word, and then I can just speak to Microsoft Word and have it dictate for me, and then I'll just copy and paste it into Claude if it's something more than like a few sentences. So yeah, okay. I'm getting started. For today, I want to do an app for finance. I'm not exactly sure what the app is going to be for, but I wanted to solve one simple problem for finance. Search through Reddit posts or anything else that you think would be relevant for stocks, and search to see what people are complaining about the most for preferably new investors when they are trying to select a stock to buy, or even the right time to buy a stock. Alright, so yeah, Gemini is doing it. It's telling me this is a good pivot for day 2. Finance apps are big. Yeah, I feel like that is true. New investors aren't just looking for what to buy. They're overwhelmed by noise versus reality. Yeah, that's something I understand very well. Most of the stuff out here is just like a distraction, trying to, the media trying to get people to buy into things that are not very good ideas, using a lot of hype. But anyways, I'm looking at the pain points that they found. What are people venting about? Here's the top 3 complaints. The bull trap anxiety. So this is about timing. People are saying, like, I bought the dip, but the dip kept dipping. So new investors are terrified of buying a stock that looks cheap only to realize it's a falling knife. So falling knife is like when a stock is going down and you can see like the price chart, it's candles, right? So like if it's going down, you're going to see red candles. If it's going up, you're going to see green candles. So basically, people want to know, is the current sentiment hopeful, or is it capitulation and despair? So basically, people want to know the sentiment before they buy into a falling knife. But like, here's a big problem that I see from this that I can tell AI doesn't recognize, is that new investors shouldn't be buying into a falling knife. New investors shouldn't be buying into, I mean, they could if they want to, but it's going to be risky. Like, they should wait till the actual stock stops falling and starts going back up before they buy into it if they want to be really safe. So I can see how new people wouldn't understand that, and they're on here complaining that basically, like, I keep buying like when it's going down, thinking it's going to be the bottom, and then it just goes down more, and then I lose money. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, because you don't really know what you're doing yet. So if you knew what you're doing, you wouldn't be trying to buy it. I mean, unless you were like really good and you had like, unless you were a more experienced investor and you had more information that would show you like support and resistance. So anyways, the next pain point it's seeing is people say like I own VOO, VTI, and SPY. Wait, they're all the same thing. Beginners are actually buying the same 10 tech stocks like Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft in 4 different funds. They need a decluttered tool to show them they aren't actually diversified. Yeah, I mean, so this would be like something that would tell them like what stocks are actually in that like index of stocks, which I mean that should be pretty easy. Like this is something where I don't understand how somebody would have this problem. Like they're very, very new to it and they just don't know that they can just click the index or like Google the index and then it'll tell them what's in it. Okay, so the third one is giving me is so people are saying like I went on Reddit and Reddit told me this like stock was a moonshot. Like basically they're going on Reddit and people on Reddit are telling them they should buy this because it's going to keep going up. But people don't actually know what the company does. People are complaining that the buy hype but sell at the first sign of red because they don't have a thesis to fall back on. Yeah, I mean that's all over the internet as people are saying like you should buy this, it's going to go up forever, and people are saying that. And someone will buy it and they don't even know what they're buying. They're just buying it because somebody else said it and they think this person is an expert or whatever. So yeah, people are complaining about the buy hype. So people want a tool to like know what is hype and what is not. But yeah, I don't see how a tool like that could really exist because I mean maybe if I thought about it more, but that just seems like something that you're gonna get over time when you get better at investing. You're gonna be able to recognize the hype from making stupid mistakes like that. So the recommendation I'm getting from Gemini is instead of a generic stock tracker, build a tool that acts like a bearish best friend. If you type in a stock ticker like Tesla or like Apple, and the app doesn't show you a green price chart, instead it searches Reddit news for the top 3 reasons not to buy it right now. Why this works for your stream. It's anti-hype. Most apps are bullish. Being the bear is a fun niche. Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, especially right now, like I think most of the stocks are like at a top. Well, not crypto, but most stocks are probably like the stock market. It's just been sitting around kind of the same level, going up and down. I don't really see it, especially with like things, but that's something else. I don't really see it going up much more. I think I mean you could like print out a lot of money and then like pump money into it, but is that actually like the economy, or is that just but that's a different story anyways. So basically they're saying this is the newbie thing. That's the main thing I think they're getting, is like a lot of these complaints are from like people who are new getting into investing. And yeah, I like this idea. What it's saying is like most people are looking at all this hype saying that they should buy something, but most people are not like considering the downside. And the first thing that comes to mind is like really a tool that could look at a stock and say like, okay, this is oversold or this is overbought. And I think that would honestly provide people more value than what people are saying on Reddit. Or maybe I think these are actually 2 different tools that I could create one tool one day and another tool another day, and then combine them later if like people are using both of them. But I don't think it would make sense, especially where I'm at with coding, to do both of these. So yeah, I think what let me see here. Let me ask Gemini what it thinks. I like the idea that you have about helping new investors, especially with sentiment. However, I think that it is very difficult for new investors to filter sentiment to know whether it is just random people saying stuff to fulfill their own objective or if it is actually valuable information. What do you think of creating an app where a person can simply type in a stock ticker and it will tell them whether it is oversold or overbought? Also, does something like this already exist? Yeah, it's telling me that this makes the app more reliable than just sentiment only. That's what I thought. Hit on the difference between subjective noise and objective math, price data. So the technical indicator tool, yeah, basically, because otherwise, like someone could go on and like a stock chart, and they could basically manually do this, but they'd have to like pull up this technical indicator, and they'd have to have some kind of basically like knowledge of like how to read it. Or what I want to do is make it like way less complicated, especially for beginners. Um, Thousands of professional apps already do this, but they're too complicated for new investors. Yeah, that's what I was exactly thinking. Um, so their idea is a vibe chart, a one-word status for a stock. The user types in the name of the stock. The app either says oversold or overbought. So what it should do is basically it should be like going and like analyzing the technical indicator for that stock, and then it can tell you if it's oversold, basically meaning like the price is lower than how would I explain this? So if it's oversold, like the price is really low, right? Like people have sold it more than historically it's usually sold, I guess, for that time frame. So if you're trying to buy something, you're most likely gonna have more upside if something is oversold if the price is lower. But like if it's overbought, that means like there's a lot of hype. I mean, it could still keep going up, but there's likely less upside. But as I've seen is like most of the stocks that are hyped up by like the media are overbought. So like most of the main stocks right now, like Apple and these are all like overbought. But like um yeah, the media is hyping them up, everything like that. So to build this, I don't need to read any Reddit posts. Just need to use the RSI, Relative Strength Index, which is like a tool. Okay, this makes sense. Yeah, so like RSI is a tool that people can put in on stock charts, and usually if it goes from like 0 to 100. Usually if it's under 30, the stock is oversold. Usually if it's over 70, the stock is overbought. So basically what the tool is going to do is tell you whether it's oversold, overbought, or neutral. So it says that this app already exists, but it's gate kept. Professional traders use RSI every day. Casual investors don't know it exists or how to read it. This app will translate the math into plain English. can use an API like Alpha Vantage or Yahoo Finance. They have a specific technical indicator endpoint that literally gives you the RSI number for any stock ticker. There's a low risk of errors. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Like, I was having more problems with that Chicago free parking app yesterday because mainly the GPS, and then it had to connect with like actual city data that can change from time to time, which I learned a lot of why that was more difficult than it looked to be when I started. Yes, I think this is a good idea. Do you think there is any more information that would help in regards to planning this? Or do you think that this is just very simple and I should just do it to solve this one simple problem? Okay, yeah, so I like this because this is saying, like, it would be really simple if it just said what the RSI was, but like the number that it was. But then beginners still don't really like understand that well. So instead of just using text, I want to make this more about like the user experience. So this way, the people that are using it, it's more simple for them, and it's just like a color. Like, if it's green, like go, that means like the RSI is oversold and it's under 30. And if it's yellow, it's going to be in the flow. It's just like normal activity RSI from 30 to 70. And if it's bright red, the RSI is over 70, so it's in the danger zone. That makes sense. Biggest mistake beginning make is buying an oversold stock that is actually just dying. To solve this, we should add one more piece of data alongside the RSI, 200-day moving average. I don't know if that's necessary because then you're going to kind of want the whole like chart with it too, I would think. Stock is oversold, but it's above the 200-day moving average. It's a buy the dip moment. I see what they're saying. Yeah, so usually, yeah, if it's oversold, if the price is really low compared to what it usually is, but it's still above the average of what the price has been for the last 200 days, it's more likely to go up from that point. But if it's oversold, but it's below the 200-day average, it's more likely usually that it's going to keep falling. But like none of this with like stocks, there's no rules to like investing. Anything can happen. It's just you can use the more information you use, the better. Is going to give you a better idea of what usually happens in that situation. So translation for the user is cheap but it's in a downward spiral, proceed with caution. If it's okay, so it shouldn't show the actual chart. It should just say if it's below or above the 200-day moving average. It's telling me I can choose the API. Like API is kind of like the connection this app will have with the information that it's going to use. It's telling me to either pick from Alpha Vantage or FinHub. And the component, a search input, a big color card, and a simple English explanation. So the Gemini is recommending that I don't call it a technical analysis tool. Call it like stock pulse or like the hype filter, right? Because I see that, because I think they would say that because a lot of beginners, technical analysis is like, it's difficult for them. Like they have to do more research on how that stuff actually works. But like I think what beginners want is this will give them like something they don't have to really understand, and it's going to give them a lot of valuable information. Yeah, because I see how this is going to cut through the hype, right? Because yeah, this is going to tell you more like if a certain stock is more likely to go up or down a lot better than what people are saying on the internet or what the media is saying. So So yesterday we fought with the city data. Today we're fighting with Wall Street. I'm not trying to fight with anything though. You know, I'm trying to go with the flow. Trying to go, trying to collaborate, trying to co-create. I'm not trying to look at it like fighting. See, that's what like AI is saying, but I don't want it to be like that. Building the hype filter. So yeah, a tool that tells new investors if they're about to buy a stock at the peak of a moonshot or if they found a genuine panic sale bargain. Yeah, that's basically what it is. So yeah, if you want to just look it up right now, look up like a Meta or look up like a Apple and look at the chart. And I know both those things are really hyped up right now. But if you check out the price, it's really overbought. And the price is really high comparatively. Then go look up Nike. Right? Like I've been buying Nike recently. Look at Nike, the price now compared to where the price is. But a lot of the stuff on the internet and the news articles I've been seeing about Nike is how, you know, they're not hyping it up. Like I don't really see much about it, but like that's like a company that I don't see like the risk of failing that much, you know. And if you're a beginner, it's better to be buying companies that have a low risk of failure, you know, that have a lot of money that they could keep running even if they're not bringing in much money for the next like 5 or 10 years. So yeah, AI is asking me, do I want to add the 200-day average context? Does it sound like something, or just keep it RSI only? I have a question. Okay. What do you think about building out the app for RSI only? And if that works well, then adding on the 200-day average. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. So yeah, like AI was just recommending me that like I add that on. But I kind of realized, you know, that could cause a lot of problems. And that's what it's saying. It's like, oh yeah, actually you're right. If I had that on, it makes it way more probable that something might break. It's better to just do what you're saying. Getting a single clean RSI number onto the screen and having it change colors correctly is a big win. Exactly. Alright. Okay, so a problem. Saying the problem is too much hype for beginners. And if they were to manually do this, I think first off, it's something I think that a lot of beginners wouldn't even think to know to check unless they did a lot of research. And even if they knew to check this, it's not something that they could just like look at and understand so easily unless they did more research. So this is something I think like everyday people that don't really understand stocks, you know, next time they're like getting all this like information fed to them from like TV news or media, and people are saying, oh, you should buy this, then they can just like take the name of that stock, put it in this tool, and it's gonna like cut through the hype. Yeah, okay. So for build the vibe, it's basically just gonna be color coded RSI. Yeah, it's gonna be like a color coded RSI indicator. Now I want to name the app. Um, so it's saying something to consider. Since this is a finance app, the number one thing that breaks these apps on stream is API rate limits. That's essentially, I feel like I know what that means, but I'm just gonna like clarify it. So like these apps probably have a limit on like, you know, how much information you can get from it in a period of time. API rate limits define the maximum number of requests a user or application can make to an API within a specified time frame. So this is going to be interesting to see how this works. So yeah, the first thing after I build this that I'm going to want to do is like test it to see how many requests I can make in a short period of time. I'll just type into a bunch of stock tickers, see how many I can do before it breaks. And obviously, like if you're watching too, once I get this built, part of the process is going to be to basically get a URL, and I'll just put the URL out there, and then anybody can go try it that's watching this. So yeah, that brings me to mind, like I'm going to walk through the steps. So like I just defined the problem, the vibe, got to name the app. I'll start building, create the folders, create the prompts to like have it run the code. Then I'll test it locally. Basically, like, I'll just, like, you know, make sure it's working and, like, try it out and test it. Once that works, then I will set it up with Google Analytics. So that way it'll track it to see if people are actually using it. So I'll know over time if people are using it that I should put more work into it and improve it. Then I can create the actual link that I would like ship it out to you know, market it. When I launch it, I'll explain that more later. Pushing it to GitHub, I'll explain what that is. And then deploy it to Netlify. Then I'll test it live to make sure that that Google Analytics is actually working and telling me if people are using it. And then I would do the marketing process. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to sit down. Okay. So I think, yeah, the next step is going to be coming up with a name. First thing I want you to do is brainstorm a list of 20 different names for this app. Alright. Stock pulse, hype filter, signal light, ticker check, stock status, bearish friend, P card, dip detector, safe entry, hype guard, RSI radar, Zen trading, vibe logic, momentum map, quant quick, buy low, over under, the cooler, ticker truth, FOMO no more. I think that really conveys. The main thing I think I want in a name is like when someone sees the name, it'll instantly convey what it's gonna do and what problem it's gonna solve, especially to to a beginner investor. So yeah, Gemini is recommending the hype filter. I kind of like that one, but I think like FOMO no more. RSI radar. Hype guard. Dip detector. Ticker check maybe. Hype filter. Okay, so I'm thinking like something maybe like a combination like ticker hype. buy low, because that's what you want. I feel like let's see. Like I kind of like RSI radar, but I feel like that's gonna be something like beginners aren't gonna really understand or like know what to look for. Dip detector. Let's see. Ticker check is really like, I think the best thing for beginners that they would understand what they're doing. But it isn't telling you what it's actually. It's just like what are you checking the ticker for? Maybe like ticker hype check. Yeah, I mean really, ticker hype check. Except even like beginners, I don't think they call stocks tickers. I feel like beginner people just think of it as like stocks. Like stock hype check. Yeah, I like stock hype check. That's, yeah, I think that's the best thing that conveys what I'm trying to do. I decided to name this stock hype check. Checker, yeah. Stock hype checker. Stock hype checker is a perfect name. Easy to remember. Sounds like a tool that does exactly what it says. That's the main thing I'm looking for in the name. So the first thing I need to do is get the API key from FinHub. And it's giving me some code to put into cursor. Okay. Get the free API key. Just need to go to the FinHub site. Oh, it's super easy. It's a button right there, get free API key. I gotta sign up to get an account though. Wow, that's easy. Yeah, it's already showing it to me. Okay. I still have the project open from yesterday on Cursor. How do I close that and open a new project? So first I gotta create the folder. I'm gonna go to desktop. I'm gonna create it in the desktop and make an empty folder named stock hype checker. So yeah, open the folder I just created. Alright. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell the composer that I'm starting a new Next.js project called Stock Hype Checker. Please scaffold a simple one-page app. So basically, like, this is gonna create the file folders so that I don't have to manually create them. Yeah, so let me make sure. Okay, yeah, you can see it working. It's asking me to approve it. Yeah, get it moving. It's working. Give thanks. Alright. Here we go. Yeah, I just need to run it. Created the code, now I just run it. Creating all the folders. Alright. Alright, yeah, so I just accepted. Run it. I feel like this is a lot more than it usually does, just to set up the folders. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I just opened up the terminal, which I have not used yet for this project. Could you explain to me what is going on with this process? Because it seems like if it's only creating the folders, it's doing a lot more than it usually does. It's not just creating the folders, it's actually performing a full app boot up. When you ask an AI tool like Cursor to start a new project, it isn't just writing code, it's acting as a senior developer that is setting up an entire professional environment. Here's exactly what's happening behind the scenes that makes it look so busy. Scaffolding explosion when I'm starting the project. It doesn't just create the folder, it builds a skeleton of about 15 to 20 files, downloads thousands of small helper files like libraries so your app can talk to the internet, handle buttons, and style itself. Creates files like package.json, the instruction manuals for the app, the rules for the code, and the design settings. Okay, so I feel like I should have given it more background information, but yeah, I'll find out if that's the case once it's done. And then as soon as the folders are created, Cursor is going to start indexing them. It'll scan every single file it just created so it can understand the context. But I really didn't give it, I think I should have given it more context, but I'll see. This allows the AI to give you those smart suggestions later. If you're seeing indexing bar at the bottom, that's the AI basically reading its own work to make sure it didn't make a mistake. Yesterday I was just editing one file. Today, by starting a project, I've triggered Composer's multi-file mode. It's coordinating between the layout, the frame of the site, and the page, the content. It's also checking the linter errors. It's basically spell checking the code to ensure the app doesn't crash the second I run it. So it basically created the app, the heart. This contains the page.tsx where the hype logic lives. The public where I'd put the logos or images. Package.json file. This lists all the parts that the app needs to run. Next / a temporary folder the computer uses to preview the app. So once it's finished, I want to open the page.tsx file. delete everything and manually paste the stock hype checker code I gave you earlier. Okay. Gave me that code, but I don't think that code has the API. I did not give you the API yet from FinHub. Do you need that API to put into the code before I give it to Cursor? So no, I don't need it yet. I shouldn't give the API directly to the AI in the chat or hard code it into the file. There's two big reasons for this. For security is the main one. So if I paste the API key into Cursor while I'm streaming, the viewers will see it. They could steal it and use up your free credits in seconds. That's good to know. In 2026, there's a secret box called the env local file. This keeps the key on the computer, but hidden from the actual code files and the viewer's eyes. Okay, so it's saying like do this while I'm not streaming, but I'll just do it. I'll just pull the cursor off the live stream screen. It's telling me yesterday the project was easier, so it was like sharpening a pencil, and today it's more difficult, so I'm like building an entire desk. Okay. I forgot, how do I pull up the screen that has the list of all the files on the right in Cursor? Saying just hit Control B. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to see right there. The stream is already started. So what I'm going to do is just take Cursor off of the screen that is streaming to the audience, and then I will put in the code when people cannot see it. What is the next step that I need to do? It's telling me I gotta initialize the environment, the secret box. while the screen is still hidden, create a new file in the root folder. Name the file and local. Inside that file, paste the FinHub key. So gotta create a new file. Then update the code. Okay, now I understand what I'm doing. I want to find out if it's, I think this would be easier just to have Claude Code do it. That way I don't have to it would be way quicker if I can just do it like that. Now that I understand what the next step is, I'm wondering if it would be much quicker and easier to just tell Claude Code to do it and give Claude Code the API. Is this possible? Yes, it's absolutely possible to have the AI do the heavy lifting, but since I'm streaming, I have to be very careful about how I give it the API key. If I just paste the key into the chat window, the audience will see it. Best way to do this is to use the composer and a secret file. But I can just move the screen. I already told it that. It's having me do a lot of extra steps I don't think are necessary. Okay. It's also telling me it's tempting to let Claude do everything. Remember, the API rate limits are real. If I tell the AI to build a feature that refreshes every second, it will burn through the free FinHub credits in minutes. Have the AI build a manual search first. There's something else I want to understand. Explain more about how the API works for FinHub. Is this something where it will charge me after it reaches a limit? I did not create an account, so it does not have any of my information to charge me. Yeah, it's saying I didn't give it a credit card, so it can't charge me. It'll just give me an error message if I hit the limit. And then it'll try to get me to go and then give it a credit card so it can charge me if it goes past the limit. It says it's quite generous. It has 2 types of limit. I should get 30 to 60 calls per minute. Or 30,000 to 60,000 per month. When the code calls FinHub, it's basically sending a very specific URL. So it's going to request, the app is going to ask, hey FinHub, what's the 14-day RSI for like Tesla or whatever ticker or stock? FinHub servers look at the last 14 days of the price movement and do the math for you. They send back a JSON packet, and then the UI update. The code takes whatever number it's going to give me, sees if it's over 70 or under 30, and then it's going to accordingly put the right color. Okay. So like yesterday I was trying to pull data from a city portal that changes, where FinHub is a professional data provider. The data format is extremely stable. So that's why it should have way less problems than yesterday. Okay, so that makes sense as like as a beginner, basically, like I want to be understanding the APIs that I'm using, where I'm getting my information from for the apps, and how stable they are, how often they change, because that's going to have a huge impact on running into problems with the app. Because that would make sense, because like each time they would change the app, like yesterday, like each time they change like a parking zone, then the app's gonna like run into problems, and it's gonna have to like make changes, and I would have to like program that in extra probably. You're telling me that I should create extra files to keep the API hidden. What if I just move the cursor screen off of the streaming screen and then give it a prompt with the API, and after it does the work, then move the cursor screen back on? Would this allow people to still see the API after I already give it to it and have it start working? This is exactly why I recommended creating the local file method. Even if I move it off the screen, there's several traps that could reveal it to the audience once you move it back. Okay. So, alright. Yeah, off screen. Um, Explain to me how I can create the file and paste the key. Select new file. name the file. Alright. And the dot at the beginning of env tells the computer it's a hidden configuration file. So now open the new file, and like this should be hidden. Yeah, I'm just double checking. Okay, yeah, you can't see the cursor screen right now because it's the API. So open the file, type or paste the following line, replacing the placeholder with your actual key. Okay. Alright, did that. Save the file, Control S. Close the tab so it's not visible when I bring cursor back on the screen. How do I close the tab? How do I close the tab so that I'm sure when I pull cursor back on the screen, it will not pop back up? Close all command. Okay. So I saved it. And press Control W. Yeah, it worked. Okay. So now I would want to get to like the back to page TSX. Alright, cool. Yeah, that's good. Alright, there we go. So yeah, I just put in the API. So I just basically gave it the information to connect to the stock website that's going to give me the information that I need to make this app work. And yeah, also I want to give thanks to all the people in the comments yesterday and today that gave me the encouragement and gave me a lot of help. Yeah, keep it up. Like, I really appreciate it, and you know, whatever you're doing to help me, I'm trying to use that to add value, give other people value about what I'm doing, and provide value also in the apps I'm creating. So I mean, you know, hopefully if people are watching this and they see that there is some value in this app and they try it and they get value from it, you know, all I'm gonna be able to see is how many people are clicking on it and like how long they're using it for. But if you like the app and you get some value out of it, let me know. And if you use the app but you feel like, you know, there could be something that I could add to it or take away from it to make it better, go ahead and leave that in the comments too. Okay. And also too, I'm just like reminding people that, you know, this is a challenge that I'm doing, and I mean, I totally believe like it's possible. Like I could get, you know, I can get to $1 million just doing this, just setting up these different apps and learning as I go. And I'm gonna keep with the flow, and I'm gonna let people know as I'm doing it. Like how much money I'm making so far. Obviously, is nothing yet. But the money I'm making off of this specific business, I have another business that I'm doing that I'm basically like learning code that later on this challenge that I'll be applying code to that business to automate it, and then once I get that automated, what I want to do is I want to basically use that model to basically like customize code for any business to set up systems that can save the business time and money. And then once I make those apps, then whatever I make from that, I will put on to, you know, the challenge from here. But not like the other business I have. I'm not going to put any money I make from coding for that business as a part of this. So this is strictly going to be 0 to $1 million from just from the apps that I create for this business right here. So everyone's going to see the entire process, and I have a feeling what's going to happen is going to be like little to very little to no money for like a while, and then it'll start taking off a little bit, and then it'll just kind of just like go real quick. So yeah, you know, it's just going to be the process. I've done this before with other business, so I understand how it works. And yeah, it's totally capable. So anybody out there, whatever you're doing, realize like you can do this too. A big part of this is not just providing value to you in the apps that I'm making, but providing value and showing you that it's totally possible to do this yourself. And I mean, you can even like, I'm not on this scarcity. You know, this channel's all about the abundance, right? So scarcity would be like, oh, don't copy what I'm doing. But no, I'm saying like you can copy exactly what I'm doing. Like I don't care. I've been in business for many years, and I understand that if something works well, people are going to copy it, and that's just a part of business, and that's just a part of evolving. So like people want to copy what I'm doing, that's free to them for them to do. I mean, I'll just keep making new things, and like they can just keep copying as much as they want, and I'll just creating new things, and that's just a part of business. So yeah, I know so many people in so many different like areas of business where they're like, yeah, I don't want to tell people about this new idea because they're gonna copy it, and it's like, I mean, what do you think is gonna happen if you put it out and it actually works? People are gonna try to copy it, but you should look at that as like a sign of success, right? Not like, oh, I'm worried people are gonna copy it and steal my idea. Well, if it's a good idea, then put it out there, and if it works, people are gonna see that, and then you'll have more good ideas in the future. So anyways, yeah, getting back to what I'm doing. Okay, that secret file is closed now, and I have the page.tsx file up now. What is the next step? It's time for the Vibecoding magic. Since I'm live, I want to build this in a way that feels satisfying to the audience, seeing the UI change from empty to analyzing. Need to tell the app to look for that key I just hid and use the composer. Okay, so I'm using cursor, paste this prompt into cursor. Okay, so I'm telling cursor right now Here's what I just pasted into Cursor. I said I have my FinHub key. I put it in that secret file. Please build the stock hype checker logic. Create a search input for a stock ticker. Fetch the RSI from FinHub. If it's over 70, make a big card turn red and say extreme hype. If it's under 30, make it turn green and say oversold value. Use Tailwind CSS to make it look modern and dark themed. So while AI is writing the code, I need to make sure the app is actually running so I can see it in the browser. Okay. So the npm run dev, I'm going to put that in the terminal. Yeah, so this way I can see it while it's building. Okay. I think it might actually be done. Or no, it's not. It's still running the code. Yeah, see, because I'm doing like this with Cursor instead of just Claude Code, like it's not taking up any tokens from, it's not taking up any of my usage, like the available usage I have on Claude. It's doing more of a step-by-step, and Cursor, as you can see, it's explaining to me more of what it's doing. And if I were using Claude Code in the terminal, it would just be like it's running or it's cooking or however one wants to call it. But it would just tell me like, you know, it's working, and it would be moving so quick I would not really understand so much of what it's doing. Alright, yeah, so it's cool to see this working, right? I mean, it's telling me a summary of what's in place. So yeah, it searches for the ticker, gets the this is the API from FinHub. Uses the latest RSI value for the response, and then it uses a card a different card depending on what the RSI is, and then it explains what to do if there's an error. And then the very, very simple styling I gave it, just like a dark background. And yeah, like to me right now, I'm not trying to focus on like how it looks, the style. All I'm really trying to do is make something that provides value, and then put it out there and do some marketing. And if people use it, then I would spend more time on changing how it looks. But for right now, I mean, this is what I want. Like, very simple stock hype checker, right? Like if anybody, especially a beginner into stocks, looks at that, they're going to be like, okay, it's checking the hype on the stock. And then underneath, RSI based hype versus value signal. So like I think a lot of beginners really do not understand what a RSI even means or how it works. But if they do, then like that will help them explain more. Okay. Um. Alright, I think it might be done and I can just try it now. So I'm going to check Nvidia. I feel like Nvidia's really had the most hype around it. From like just seeing like stocks and seeing like the media. Because of AI, Nvidia makes the chips is, you know, that's like easy for people to understand, and AI is really hype right now with stocks. Um, you know, people are talking about like the AI bubble and everything. I think AI is just getting started. Nvidia, I can see, like I already know Nvidia is like, I bought Nvidia like like maybe a year ago to a year and a half, and I stopped buying it like a year ago, and it's so high right now. I don't think it's smart to like. I would not buy more Nvidia right now because I don't see much more upside. I see it's way more likely to go down. So yeah, I'm gonna try it and see what it says, but I can pretty much guess that it's gonna be oversold. So NVDA, I'm typing that in. That is the make sure I can see it on the screen. Yeah, NVDA. See if it works. I don't have access to this resource. Okay. Guess it didn't work the first time. I typed in the ticker for Nvidia and it gave me what looks like an error message that says you don't have access to this resource. AI saying, yeah. Oh. Oh. Like this is the classic API gatekeeper moment. Very common hurdle when using FinHub. Means one of two things. FinHub is a bit sneaky. They offer a technical indicators endpoint. The one that calculates the RSI for you, but they have moved that specific calculation to their paid premium tier. I'm on the free tier. So that's most likely what it is. Don't worry, we don't need the premium calculator. We can fix this live on stream by doing the Vibecoding way. Get the raw data for free and have the AI calculate the RSI for us. Yeah, I would have never thought of that. But there's always like ways around things, I feel like. The quote and candle endpoints are almost always free. Okay, candle is like a chart, a certain format of looking at a chart, and the quote's just going to be the price. So that's going to be like looking. It's going to what's free is I can get the price of the stock, and then like where it is on the candle chart, and then I'll just have the app manually figure out the RSI. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting this. I mean, running into problems, learning something new. Like if it would have just worked, I would not have like realized that that would have even been possible. So yeah. Alright, making progress. So now I'm going to give Cursor the prompt to do that. Okay, so I'm telling cursor, it looks like FinHub, the indicator endpoint is restricted to premium. So I want to use the free quote endpoint to get the current price of the stock that I'm typing in. Then I'm going to use the free stock candle endpoint to get the last 14 days of closing prices. Write a JavaScript function inside of the page.tsx file to calculate the RSI manually from that data. Keep the same UI colors as before. Okay. Why this is better. So I'm using the public data that FinHub always keeps open. The audience gets to see the AI actually build the math rather than just fetching it. And also, main thing, I'm not relied on their paid features. So here's what I would understand. If people use this, if they find value from it, down the road, I would be like, okay, now I can monetize it. You know, make it, even if, let's just say it was like $1 a month. I could use the money I'm getting from monetizing it to pay for the paid feature on FinHub. And then when I get that paid feature, I could add more of the, you know, like the paid features that they have basically. Alright. Once it updates the code, try typing Nvidia again. Not enough price history for this symbol. That's what I was thinking, because it said it's only going to the last 14 days. If I'm right, what the problem is I told it to check the last 14 days. And I am pretty sure, yeah, 14-day period is not going to give you... It'll give you an RSI for that many days maybe, but that's not going to give you an accurate RSI. Okay, but I'll see what AI thinks the problem is. Okay, I just got another error message. It says that there is not enough price history for this symbol. It's a very common trap when working with stock API on a live stream. It's usually not that the data doesn't exist. API is being very picky about the time range. Right, to calculate a 14-day RSI, we actually need about 20 to 25 days of data to be safe. I would say more than that. They're saying because the markets are closed on weekend and holidays, but I think you'd want more than that. But I don't know. I'm gonna take his suggestion and then see what it says. If we only ask for exactly 14 calendar days, the API looks at the weekend, sees only 10 actual trading days, and throws that error. So I'm going to adjust the form date in the request to look back 35 days. I mean, I would say more like a year, but we'll see. That maybe that's just like too much. I'm going to try what it says first. This guarantees we get plenty of trading days for the math to work. Okay, so now I'm going to give cursor these instructions basically. So I'm telling cursor, the FinHub Candle API is failing because of the date range. Let's fix the function. Man, these are all like new words, like new things I'm learning. So anyways, um, how the RSI math actually works. Since we're doing the calculation manually, here's what the AI is doing behind the scenes. It's looking at each day and asks, did the price go up or down from yesterday? It calculates the average gain and the average loss over those 14 days. It plugs them into the RSI formula. So yeah, I think I already see that, like I was saying, there's going to be a problem with that because that's not enough data, enough time. And like if I didn't know stocks and trading and investing, I wouldn't know that. I would just be like, oh, AI is telling me that's what I need to do. So that must be how it works. But then it's going to tell me if it's over. It's only going to tell me if it's overbought or oversold within the last, month. And that is not accurate for like what kind of value I provided people. People are going to want to know whether it's oversold in the last, like, especially these bigger stocks. Maybe if it was like penny stocks or something, but these like bigger stocks that beginners would want to buy, they're going to need more data than that. So yeah, I made the changes. Give me a summary of the changes. Not enough price history for this symbol again. Okay. I got the same error message as last time. Not enough price history for this symbol. Was there something I needed to do to update the app in the cursor window, or should it automatically update after cursor says it is done and made the changes? This is where AI coding can get a little tricky. Sometimes the AI says it's done, but the code is still sitting there waiting for your approval. Did you accept the changes? As I click review, the blue accept button, or press Control Enter. I'll just try. I don't see a blue accept button. Control Enter. No, same thing. So if I've saved it and it still says not enough history, the AI likely didn't look back far enough. It's telling me the same thing over again. I just did that. Okay. You are basically telling me to do the same thing that you told it to do last time, which is expand the data set from 14 days to 30 to 40 days. I think that to get accurate data for this app to be valuable, it needs at least 1 year of data to tell whether it is overbought or oversold in relation to the overall price. I still don't know why I'm getting this error. What do you think of my suggestion? Yeah, it's telling me I'm right. It always does that though. Mostly, like AI is like the biggest yes man. Like I feel like in all my AI chats, like I should start out with a prompt that says like, I want you to not agree with everything I do. Something to that extent, anyways. To truly, what it's saying, to truly know if a stock is overbought, you need context. An RSI of 75 might be normal for Nvidia over the last year, but extreme hype for a utility stock. By pulling 1 year of data, we can calibrate the RSI, add the 200-day average. I'm not trying to do that now anyway though. Here's the main thing. The reason I'm still getting that error is a FinHub quirk. In their free tier, the candle endpoint, which gives us the historical price, often has gaps. So to fix it, it's saying it's going to move the look back to 365 days. This solves two problems. It gives us enough data for the 200-day averages later, and it usually forces the API to find something even if recent days are missing. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Alright, so I'm telling Cursor, let's upgrade to a professional 1 year view. Change from timestamp to 365 days ago. Fetch the candle data for that full year. Calculate the 14-day RSI. Okay, I think that might be a problem because I definitely want, we'll see. New feature. Calculate the 200-day simple day moving average using the closing prices. And see, before it said it wasn't going to do this, just do one thing at a time. And it's telling it to do something else before I even got the first thing. Hype logic upgrade. A stock is extreme hype only if the RSI is over 70 and the price is more than 10% above the 200-day average. I mean, that's good, but I want to make sure just the RSI is working first. Show the 200-day average price on the screen so the audience can see the comparison. Why this might still error. Alright, well, it definitely made changes. I'm getting a new error. I feel like it should not have added in that RSI. Or I mean the 200-day moving average before I fixed. Okay. Oh, man. Alright, yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah, back on back. Back on track. Alright, I gotta stand for a while now. Um, okay. Where was it? Alright, getting back to it. I got a new error message this time. It said not enough price history. Need 200 plus trading days for full analysis. I know in this new prompt, I told it to do 365 days. So I don't understand this error message because it should be well over 200 days. Also, I'm kind of confused why I tried to have it do an extra function of checking the 200-day moving average before I even made sure that the first function of getting the RSI is working. Yeah, it's telling me I'm right about it's making it more complicated to try and do the 200-day moving average right now when I haven't even got the RSI working yet. So now I want to do a hard reset to just the RSI. Alright, so new prompt. Alright, I just told it stop everything we are doing, do a nuclear reset, and get step 1 working. Delete all the 200-day average SMA logic. Update to look back only 45 days. If the API returns any data at all, just calculate the RSI and show it. No guardrails, no errors, unless the API literally returns nothing. Add console log data so I can see exactly what FinHub is sending back in my browser's inspect tool. You are also mentioning to refresh the browser. I do not have this open in the browser. I'm only accessing it through cursor. Does it make any difference if I also try it through the browser, or is it just the same if I just do it through cursor? Yeah, it's saying cursor has a built-in browser. That's what I'm doing. The globe icon, that's what I'm looking at. Okay. So yeah, watch. I'm gonna try. I just tried it in my browser, but it's the same thing here. It should be. So I'm gonna try just to make sure it's working right. I'm gonna try Apple. Yep. New error message. No data from API. So now I have a way better idea of what the problem is. Something tells me that FinHub is just not wanting to let me do this. It wants me to pay. So maybe it's gonna have me try a different API. Well, I don't know. I'll see. Okay, I got a new error message this time. It says no data from API. Yup, the FinHub free tier has become very strict. I'm saying maybe it's something where like when I type in the ticker, like instead of Apple AAPL, that the code is sending it as Apple and not AAPL. Or it could be that on the free plan you can generally only access US stocks. I mean, that is a US stock, so that wouldn't make sense. Okay, new prompt. Okay, I'm getting a no data error. Let's find the leak. In the check hype function, add a console log fetching for ticker to try to see if it's the first thing where it's like transferring it from the actual ticker to like the name of the stock, and that's confusing it. Then add another console log, but make sure to mask the API key in the log so don't leak it on the stream. If the response is no data, show a specific message. FinHub says no data for this symbol. Try a US stock like Apple. Wrap the whole fetch in a try catch and log any actual network errors to the console. I think this API is just not trying to give me this on the free tier. And check their pricing and see if they have like a free trial. Yeah, it does have a free trial. But yeah, I should already be doing that because I already got the API for the free trial. Okay, it's saying how to get the error if I'm using the cursor integrated browser. I'm going to see if this is something for Claude Code. Is this something that Claude Code could do automatically? Alright, it's telling me try one more prompt in Cursor. And if that doesn't work, then do the Claude Code. I would agree with that. Like, really, I could have used Claude Code as soon as I hit this error. But then I would not be learning. Claude Code could have fixed it, and I wouldn't understand it. And I'm trying to understand this stuff. I'm trying to learn. So, okay, the new prompt that I gave Cursor. I'm giving you full permission to be a detective. Add the console log statements for the current time, the from time, and the to time in Unix format. I want to see exactly what numbers we're sending to FinHub. Let's fix this data issue once and for all. Alright. So it told me what it's doing. Now it's writing or changing the code. And then it tells me what it did. So why FinHub was returning no data, that's the main thing I want to know. For daily candles, like basically like the daily price change, FinHub expects the range to be fully in the past. If 2 is right now, there is no completed daily candle for today yet. Oh, that could be it. I would have never thought of that. So yeah, basically what it's saying that the problem might be is that if it's pulling back like the candle from today, and that candle's not complete, so it wouldn't have full data, and that could be what's causing it. Run a check and look at the console, you'll see the exact current from 2 times and the ISO dates. If anything still looks off, we can adjust further. I'm going to copy and paste that into Gemini, what it just did, and ask it. Okay, I can't do that. Let me just see if it works first. Yeah, same thing. Gemini. Cursor just gave me an update about here's what's changed. I'm trying to copy and paste that into this box, but I cannot copy it from Cursor. Is there a way to copy it from Cursor? Alright, awesome. Somebody from the chat is telling me to use open code, so I'm going to try that next. Alright, not sure why I can't copy it from cursor, but what I'm about to do is just tell it what happened. I'm not sure why I can't copy it still, so I will just tell you what it says. It says it changed to be a detective. So I'll see 3 lines in the console every time I run a check. Number 2, why FinHub was returning no data. It's saying that for daily candles, FinHub expects the data range to be fully in the past. If 2 is right now, there is no completed daily candle for today yet, so the API often returns no data. So number 3, the fix applied. It basically says before it was like up to today's date. Now it says it goes up to the end of yesterday. And then 45 days before that. However, I'm getting the error message, no data from API, when I type in the ticker for Apple. Okay, it's saying try one more thing. I'm going to try that real quick, and then if not, I'm going to ask it about the open code. So I'm saying the yesterday fix didn't work, meaning like just taking off the price from yesterday. Let's try the safety buffer approach. Set the end date to 2 days ago. I mean, I could see how like this could have a problem if like the price moved a lot in the last 2 days. But I think for the purpose of this, that really doesn't matter because the chances of that happening are relatively low, especially on a bigger stock like this. And if it did, it would be like common knowledge that like stocks are crashing, some kind of like big event. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, same thing. Okay, to test if FinHub is ghosting you, when that alert pops up with the URL, alright, it's going to say if an alert pops up with that, I think it just did when I'm looking at it through like, not through the screen on cursor, but actually through like a browser. I should copy it. I just pasted the error message that you asked me to paste, and you told me that you are encountering an error and that I should try something else. Somebody in the comments suggested that I try to use open code. Explain what that means and what you think of that suggestion. Yeah, so they're saying basically to try to use Claude Code using the terminal, I think. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to that then. But AI is saying don't try that yet. Let's try one last surgical fixing cursor. And if that fails, then do open code. Okay, I'm gonna try what you say, Gemini. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this last time for cursor, I'm going to say instead of fetching candles, let's use the quote endpoint for now. We'll lose the 14-day RSI for a moment, but we'll get the current price and days change working immediately. That's not what that is not at all what I want to do though. That's not a win to me. Yeah, telling me that's a win, but I don't think you understand investing like I do. Otherwise, you would get why that's not a win. Okay. I do not want to try this last fix for cursor because I'm not just trying to have this app get the current price and the days change. That can easily be done just by looking at any website. What I want to do is the original plan. Very simple. Just check the RSI to tell me if it's overbought or oversold, or in the middle. I think it is best to try open code and Claude Code now to see what happens. So yeah, sometimes like the AI will try to lead you, like I've said before, AI you got to be careful because it can be very helpful, but sometimes it doesn't understand what it's doing. It'll try to lead you down a path that will just have you spin in a circle. So it's saying I hear you, you want the real logic, not watered down price ticker exactly. Moving to open code or Claude Code is a bold, high-energy pivot for your stream. It turns us from a debugging session to an AI agent showdown. Yeah, that's cool. Like, I don't have any problem with that. I just want to build the app. And like, if I had used that from the beginning, it'd probably already be built, but that's okay. Because I'm learning, and that's the main thing. So I just gotta type Claude in the terminal. You are telling me how to install Claude in the terminal. I have already installed Claude in the terminal. I tried to type Claude to get it up. It is not typing. Maybe it has something to do with the text that is already in the terminal. Terminals are like old radios. They don't always pick up new stations command while they are already running. Close the terminal tab. Clicking the trash icon. So kill the terminal. Open a fresh terminal. Oh no. Oh duh. Weird, now the terminal is not opening. Okay, I closed the terminal, but for some reason it is not opening when I hit Control and plus. Usually I hit Control terminal, new terminal. There we go. Okay, still learning the easy stuff too. All right, get Claude going. All right, got it. Okay, Claude is open now. What do you want me to paste into Claude? I'm going to give Claude a prompt that forces it to act as a lead developer. We don't want it to guess, we want it to prove why the API is failing before it even tries to write the code. Okay. Alright, so it's hatching. Alright, it's thinking. Claude Code is working now. What I told it is I'm building a stock hype checker in Next.js. My goal is to get the 14-day RSI for a ticker using FinHub API. The problem is the current code in app/page.tsx keeps running no data from API. Your mission to Claude: analyze, read the page.tsx, check my Unix timestamp math for the from and to dates. Then debug. Use the terminal to run a curl command to the FinHub API with my key to see if the API actually returns data for Apple and Tesla. If the API works in the terminal but not in the app, fix the code logic. If the API returns no data, adjust the date range and look back 60 days to ensure we have enough trading days. Remove any complex 200-day average logic for now, just get a clean RSI number on the screen. Do not change my local file using this existing API key. Okay. So yes, I do want Claude to proceed. So people in the comments like, how do you not even know how to use the terminal? That's what I'm saying, man. Like I've used it before. Like I just run into new things because I'm not familiar with it. But yeah, that's funny because in some ways I don't, and I'm still learning, and that's good because what I'm trying to do is like, from what I see, like the majority of the people out here that are demonstrating these the processes that are basically like coding and creating stuff using this, like they already understood coding. They already understand this very well. And when I listen to them, a lot of it just goes right over my head. So mainly like what I'm doing this for is like for people who don't, like beginners like me, people like I'm just like a couple steps ahead of like people who really don't know what they're doing. I mean, I've definitely been like spending like the last month, man, like going down rabbit holes, and I've already done a few apps with this, and like I've like I'm not like a beginner, like I just didn't like start today, like I'm learning it, but yeah, this is awesome to learn, and I want other people to see as a beginner what kind of problems I'm hitting, so that when they most likely hit the same problems, they understand this. Because when I'm watching people that really understand what they're doing, like that new coding before this came along, which seems to be like, I've only found like 3 or 4 people that are really like doing this, what I'm doing. They're all like way more advanced than me, and I feel like as a beginner, like it's really hard to follow what they're doing. Okay, it's asking me, do I want to proceed again? But yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the the point of view, because like it lets me know like, yeah, like I'm really a beginner, like keeps asking me if I want to proceed, and I could just have it so like it doesn't have to ask me again, but I want to see what it's doing. Okay, so Claude Code just told me the API The API returns, you don't have access to this resource. That's the real problem. Let me check which endpoints the key does have access to. That's good to know. Alright. Claude just told me the API returns, you don't have access to this resource. That's the real problem. Let me check which endpoints the key does have access to. So yeah, I was right the whole time. Is the API is not. Claude saying, or Gemini is saying, this is the aha moment. Claude Code just saved you hours of guessing. Except I already guessed it right from the start. But hey, I'm learning. The error, you don't have access to this resource, means your API key is valid, but the stock handle endpoint, which we need for RSI history, has likely been moved behind a paywall for your specific account type or region in FinHub's latest tiers. So the many of the free tiers have shifted. FinHub often allows the quote current price for free, but restricts the previous data. There's got to be a better way to do this, I feel like. Like there's got to be, like, you could just, I don't even see why I would need FinHub when it could just like go on like any like stock website and like just check the price. Like this should, I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's asking me, do I want to test Yahoo Finance Chart API? Yes. Okay, so yeah, it was cool to use cursor to like troubleshoot, but now I'm seeing how like Claude can really like get down to like the issue right away. And I did guess that. That was like my first guess. So I'm definitely like getting more intuitive to how this stuff works. It's asking me, do I want to create an API candles directory? Yes, I do. Someone's asking me what IDE I'm working out of. Integrated Development Environment. I mean, I believe this is Cursor, but I just want to check. Somebody in the comments is asking me what IDE I am working out of. Is that Cursor? Yeah, that is Cursor. It's telling me that's the hottest tool in coding right now. So yeah, I'm working out a Cursor. Okay, so it looks like Claude made the edit. Yeah, this is so good for learning because I'm learning like when to go back and forth from cursor and the terminal and Claude. And yeah, cursor, when I'm manually putting in those prompts, like it takes longer to like figure stuff out usually. I mean, the first app I built was for like the locations in Chicago. Like I wanted to have an app where people in Chicago could, or like any city, but I just used Chicago as like a test case because I know Chicago better than any other major city in America. So what I did was I was like, yeah, I want to create an app where people can say like, you know, I'm looking for a certain group of people in a certain neighborhood. Where's the best place to go to find these people? So basically it just said like, okay, it showed the app and it's like click, you know, artists, musicians, sports fans, and then you could click what group you're looking for, and then you click like the loop, like you know, whatever neighborhood you want to go to or you're in, and then it'll give you a suggestion of places to go. And that was super easy, like no problem at all. Figured it out real quick. But now I'm learning like certain apps like this, like these finance apps. See that one, the API, I think it was just like Google like Maps, and it could just like look at Google Maps and like I explained to it like, you know, what places had more like neighborhoods, like had certain crowds of people. So like that was me like giving my like information, but this one is going to get information from another source. So start Next.js server and test handle API. Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of different apps run into different problems. And I'm seeing why, you know, why these problems are coming, what's more likely to have problems, how to fix it. Now it's gonna test it, it looks like. And like yeah, like I said before, I could be running Claude Code so that it just automatically does everything and I don't have to keep saying like yes, do this. But I want to do it manually so I can see what it's doing. Okay, so now it's telling me it should work. So I'm going to try it. Try it first in my browser. Refresh. Okay, it didn't pop up on the browser, but here. Huh. Oh, I think I just gotta run npm. Okay. Okay, so basically like it said it's done, but it said like run npm run dev and try Apple or Tesla. So I just tried to go on the app and it says the connection has failed. So I think that means like I have to actually like type in that prompt, but I'm gonna find out real quick. Claude Code is telling me that it should have fixed the problem. It's telling me to run npm run dev and try Apple or Tesla, and I should see a clean RSI number on the screen. In the browser, it says the connection has failed. Does that mean I have to paste run npm run dev into Cursor or Claude Code. Yeah, alright. You should paste into a regular cursor terminal, not so it's telling me for a smooth stream I should have 2 terminal tabs open. I mean, I think I do, like one is cursor and no, that's just, anyway. Okay, here's something new for me, I think. In cursor, look at the terminal area at the bottom. On the right side of the terminal, you'll see a plus icon. Yeah, new terminal. So now I got a new clean terminal. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, and I see people like that understand this better than me. They'll have like sometimes like 6 different terminals open and running at the same time. That's like way above or like my understanding is, or I'm sure like a beginner, like, you know, any beginner could just come and like, you know, just only use Claude Code. But I feel like the learning curve is not like, I want to understand this so that when I get to more complicated things that I have a better understanding of what I'm doing. Okay, I think it, yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, as you can see, I'm gonna try it on the local browser too. Yeah, okay. So yeah, here we go. This is like, gonna see if Claude fixed it. I'm gonna try Apple again. Dude, it did it. Okay, so it gave me the RSI. Is neutral within the typical range. So at least, yeah, Claude definitely fixed the problem. But I think what it's doing, I think this RSI is only like a 14-day RSI. So yeah, I want to show you guys something real quick. The Apple chart. Okay, so check this out, right? This is the daily price of Apple. Alright, so that, like, that really doesn't matter if you're looking to buy a stock. Like, this isn't really gonna tell you, unless you're day trading, this is not what you want to be looking at. Looking at the last month of price movement from Apple, which is what I think is going on right now, is it only gave me an RSI for like, you know, 14 days, like half the month. So it's only looking like, it's only giving me data from like here to here of the price movement. But if I'm buying, like, to buy and hold a stock like this, like, I would need way more than that. Like, look at the last 6 months. It really hasn't moved much, but it looks like, you know, it's moved from like 233 to right now it's at 273. So that's like $40. So that's like, still, that's like maybe like 10%. So that's how much it's gone up over the last 6 months. But look at the last year. Interesting. Yeah, the last year, it really hasn't done much. It's been staying at the top of this range. So if you look at the last year of like a stock that you're looking to buy and hold and like hold it long term, that's still really not going to give you, especially for something big like Apple, it hasn't really done much. And it's like, okay, well, according to this, it's barely gone up. But then you look at the last 5 years, okay, now you're getting somewhere. And you're like, okay, over the last 5 years, it's up like, 133 to 273. It's up like 100%. So I can see it took 5 years to go up like 100%. But if I look at the entire price history, look at that. So I look at Apple and look at how much it's went up just in the past like 6 years. From 2020, it went from like $70 to like where it is now. So looking at this, like, this is not average. This, I would say, this RSI is like over. Without even looking at the RSI, I would say it's oversold or overbought, right? Because the price is still really close to the top, but you can't tell that only from looking at like the last 14 days. Okay. So I'm going to tell Claude Code what's going on here. I'm going to tell Gemini what's going on here. Okay, good news. After doing Claude Code, it is showing me the RSI for Apple is neutral at 61.1, which is within the typical range. The problem here I see is that I'm only looking at the last, I think you said 14 days of history. I should be looking at least a year, if not the last 5 years, to get an accurate idea of like whether or not the stock is a good long-term buy or even so. So yeah, not only learning coding, but learning investing too. That's what I do. That is a legendary instinct. You've hit on the difference between a day trader and a wealth builder. Exactly what I was saying. Okay, 14-day RSI is looking at a car speedometer. It's not a speedometer, it's a speedometer. It tells you how fast you're going right now. Like the speedometer is burn up. Looking at the 1 year or 5 year history is like looking at the GPS and the engine history. It tells you where the car has been and if it's actually reliable. Yeah. So yeah, they're saying this is great for timing an entry, but you don't know, like, this is great for like looking at the last week, like, should I buy in now or should I, like, is it more likely to go down in the next week or two to buy it? But if you don't know like the whole like RSI for the longer history and you're a beginner, that's going to give you problems. So RSI, 14-week RSI covers roughly 3 to 4 months. 14-month RSI covers over a year. That is definitely more what I'm looking at. To make this a long-term buy tool, we should have a Claude add a time frame switcher. That's actually a better idea than I even thought. 14-day RSI is working, but I want to give Claude this prompt. Add a time frame switcher. UI buttons for daily, weekly, and monthly. That is a good idea. Okay. Wow. Yeah, okay. This is really good for beginner investors, I feel like. When weekly is selected, fetch enough data, at least 2 years, to calculate the RSI based on weekly closing prices. Add a long-term verdict if the monthly RSI is under 40. Label it potential generational buy. If it's above 70, label it long-term overheated. I don't really like those labels for beginners, but I'm just gonna do this, and then I can change the labels if it works. Yeah. All right. Okay, so made the folders, plotted the code, starting to test it. And I can tell right now I'm getting hungry. I just want to get this done so that it does what I want it to do. I'm gonna make sure that it's working, that I like show you how to like get the Google Analytics on it so they can track it. I'm basically gonna do everything except for the marketing. And then tomorrow I'm gonna do another finance app, and hopefully, like now that I understand it better, instead of taking like 2 hours or whatever it took me to like build this app, it'll hopefully take me like 30 minutes, all right? Because I'm getting better. And then I'll show you guys the marketing, like what the basic marketing I'm gonna do. And because I'll do another finance app tomorrow, then I can basically market the app I do tomorrow and the app I'm doing today at the same time. All right. All right, I'm sitting down again. Yeah. Man, if I didn't have a standing desk, man, I can't sit down like that all the time. Like I like learning this stuff and everything, sitting at the computer. I don't like staring at the computer screen all day, but I mean that's part of it. But you know, that's why I'm like, but yeah. So I want to make this edit. See, I feel like, yeah, once I get that million from this, get some land, wake up, do some farming in the sunshine, plant up the Eitel food, all the organic vegetables and stuff, and then just do like my couple hours of farm work, and then do my couple hours of, do my like 8 to 12 hours of business work. Yeah, alright, Claude Code is manifesting. That's what I'm trying to see. More manifestation. So, you know, like the roots of this channel, the people that have been here for the longest time already know how it all started with like the manifestation and the co-creation and the regulation and all that kind of stuff. And then basically like, you know, I was all about applying that to like money and business. And essentially, like, you know, there's only so much I can say about manifesting before I said it all. So now I'm really like going on to business, and I'm just trying to go with that flow, path of least resistance, getting better at realizing when there's like a block in the road, and when to just change directions and try something else instead of keep going down the keep running the same wall. So yeah, like I said, it's abundance. The really like I mean, looking at business from just like a year or 2 years ago compared to like what is capable with AI right now, that's like I manifested. Like I was like, man, like I only have so much time in the day. I don't really have like money to hire people on salary. I mean, hiring a coder to do this, like that's gonna be at least 50K a year, right? To hire somebody to do what I'm doing. And 2 years ago, it would have taken them 10 times longer just to like do what I'm doing right now, at least. So like everything that I really like, really held an intention for, you know, to make business run smoother, to make my ability to scale a business quicker, to make my ability to really like do more of what I want to do with a business, than what I was capable of just 2 years ago has gone like 100x at least. And even just like from a year ago to right now, the ability of AI is moving so quick that I remember like the workflows people were setting up just like 6 months ago, before like this coding really got this good, was like all through like a whole different method of like AI APIs and stuff, to where like it was way more manual. And yeah, I think it looks like it's got it. Just want to check for errors. So yeah, I mean, like I'm really giving thanks, because like this came at the right time, man. And I know I'm like going with this because I know right now, like in my lifetime, I've never um seen improvements with like any kind of business tools. And I see most of the ways people are using AI, and I see how like they really don't understand what it's totally capable of and what they can really do with it. And I'm trying to help people provide value so people can see what is all good, what is all there. And build passes. Let's test it. Do I want to proceed? Yes. Also, the other thing I gotta remember is I think it said like it only set it up so I can test Apple and Tesla, but that should be easy. Just make it so I can do any stock. But yeah, it already updated the buttons for like daily, weekly, and monthly. So that is like I didn't even think of that. That's something that's like genius. Like this would have helped a lot when I first got into investing. But yeah, basically I'm gonna teach you something about investing real quick. So basically with beginners, like you learn to use a bunch of different tools. You learn to read the chart, right? Like candlestick charts, line charts. I was showing you guys a line chart. You learn to read the chart. Then you learn what different tools do and how to apply them to the chart. And these give you all just more information so you can make a better decision. So basically what happens with me, and what I understand happens with most investors, is over time, after you learn these tools, you don't need to use them anymore. You can just look at the chart, and like your mind already understands like how the chart is gonna, like you can just look at the chart and get the same information you would have got if you would have looked at the chart with the tools when you were a beginner. And that's where I'm at. Like I don't even look at the tools anymore, but I understand for a beginner like how this would help them, how this would help people invest. And especially right now, where like all I'm seeing is like in the media is like leading people in the wrong direction. And my opinion is that like the media is run by the companies that own the banks, that are like the big like buyers and stuff. And basically like they want to lead people in the wrong direction, because when they want to like sell a bunch of their stock, they need to have like everyday people like you and me buying so they can sell to us. and when they want to buy, they want to scare us into selling so that they can buy from us. So like I see that that's like a big part of the game. That's like investing. I mean, you're like you're trying to I mean, go against the big banks essentially. But the longer you're in the investing for, the like less that matters. I mean, if you're planning on holding for like years, like 40 years, like it matters less the longer you hold. Okay, now run npm run dev in the other node. Okay. Claude is done again. It's telling me to run npm dev. I opened up the other terminal and it won't let me run it in there. Do I need to delete that terminal and open up a new clean terminal to run npm run dev? Okay, yeah, so for whatever reason, the last terminal I opened to run npm run dev did not work. I had to open a new one, and it's telling me why. It's because if you're trying to type in the terminal where Claude is open, that's not the one I was trying to type in. Claude's still thinking the exit command, but that was not what the problem was. So AI just doesn't understand, or I didn't explain to it well enough. Okay, ready in 2.4 seconds. Alright. Okay. I opened a new terminal and pasted npm run dev. It says starting ready in 2.4s. The page is not working. Is something frozen or still loading? It's telling me in the terminal, press Ctrl C to stop the current command because it should have worked by now. Then run this command to clear everything. This is like a reset button for your coding environment. and then try npm one more time. So why it likely froze? Claude Code is very fast. It can change 5 files in 2 seconds. Before I asked Claude to try and solve this problem, I just wanted to make sure I did not do something wrong by opening up a third terminal when I had it run npm run dev this most recent time. No, that was fine. Okay, yeah, so something's definitely wrong with us freezing, so can I just ask Claude Code to fix this? Oh man, I'm so close. I could show the app and then I just needed to run it and it froze. Okay. So yeah, Terminal 3 is fighting with Terminal 2 for control of the same port. That's what I thought it was. Run these commands in the newest terminal. Okay. It won't let me. Now it will not let me add anything new into the third terminal. I opened the third terminal because it would not let me add anything new into the second terminal. Saying kill all the terminals at once. So Control plus Shift plus P. Yeah, kill all terminals. Alright. The ghost cleared. Control plus shift plus escape. Windows Task Manager, look for any process named Node JavaScript one time. Alright. Right click it and hit end task. Okay, so I just ended the JavaScript and it popped right back up. Weird. In the task manager. Alright, new terminal. It's telling me to open this first new terminal, put Claude in, give it the fix command I already used, then open a second terminal and do npm run dev. Alright, so I think it was telling me I needed to run the exact same prompt I gave to Claude last time. And I'm going to see if I can just try to run it without doing that, but it looks like it's still frozen doing the same thing, so yeah. Oh man, I'm so close. Can you repost the fix command that I already used that I need to repost into the new Claude window terminal I just opened? I feel like this is different than this is like just weekly and monthly, but I wanted to get weekly, monthly, and year. I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, daily, weekly, and monthly. Alright. Oh man. I hope this works. Yeah, I need to eat, so This guy is so close. Like, it had it done. I just needed to, like, not have it freeze for the run dev. Like, I saw it. I saw the app was made, and I just had to do the one thing, and then it froze. But hey, now I'm learning. How do I find out how much I'm burning on tokens? Yeah, so it's saying that like a million tokens is like $25, and yeah, like each time I've ran it through, it looks like it's gone from like right now this is like 5,000 tokens to like, you know, between 5 and 10,000 tokens. So I can find out when this is done exactly how many tokens, but yeah, I'm guessing like something between like 20 and 30,000 tokens. So I mean that's probably a couple dollars if I'm right. Which that should be in like the regular $20 plan, but yeah, as soon as I start running over the $20 plan is, I'm gonna upgrade to the max plan. feel like this was unnecessary though. I feel like AI just had me do something that I didn't need to do and repeat that last step when there should have been an easier way to like fix the freeze basically. But yeah, so if I understand this correctly, I just basically had Claude Code repeat the last step that it did because it froze. Is that correct? Not exactly. It's actually more like telling a lead architect to pivot because the first plan hit a wall. When the app froze, it was likely stuck in an infinite loop trying to calculate data that didn't exist over and over. By pasting that new command, you didn't just ask Claude to try again. You gave it a new set of blueprints to bypass the freeze. So this time it did differently. It audited for loops, found a new door, stopped trying to use the locked FinHub historical data and looked for an open indicator. No, it already did that though. Like I feel like it did that on its own. I feel like Claude did that on its own, and Gemini doesn't understand that. Upgrade the logic. It added the weekly, monthly time frames that you wanted, which requires a different way of fetching data. Okay, Claude's telling me he's doing a final check. Hopefully that means it's almost done. For the daily, it's looking at 39 candles, the weekly 106, and the monthly 61. So that must mean it's looking at 39 daily candles, and then however many weekly candles, and however many monthly. Okay. Then this is saying npm run dev. Then try searching for Apple. So it's a new. Okay. I'm just gonna paste this into, or no, I'll tell it. Alright. I think Claude is done working. It says I need to restart the dev server. Since a new npm package was installed, Yahoo Finance, I must restart. Control plus C, stop the current server, and then npm run dev. That's exactly correct. I installed a new package, Yahoo Finance. But I did that last time too. I don't know, that doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. It says go to the third terminal, but I closed them all already, remember? You are telling me to go to the third terminal, but I already closed all those terminals, and the only terminal I have open right now is the one with Claude Code. Yeah, it's just saying open a new terminal. after I ran npm install, it says 145 packages are looking for funding. Run npm fund for details. 1 critical severity vulnerability. To address all issues, run npm audit fix / force. Okay, Gemini saying ignore this. This is like Yahoo Finance, since I added their thing, they're trying to get like donations. I don't understand that, but whatever. Since I'm just building it on my own computer, nobody can hack it. If I plan to deploy this to the web later, I'll want to fix it. Which is what I want to do, is deploy it to the web later. So I need to go back to Claude and tell it about this critical vulnerability. Check my JSON package and update to the latest secure versions. Okay. Alright, give thanks to all the positivity in the comments. Yeah, everyone's giving me help. Everyone's giving me strength. Everyone's giving me all the blessings to do what I gotta do. So yeah, I'm gonna provide value too. See, I'm glad that I tried that last thing too, because like I definitely want to upload this to the internet, and what would be the point of making an app for people to use if I'm the only one that can use it? So yeah, here we go. Yeah, I can't wait till I get so much better at this. And I'll be putting out apps like this in like a quarter of the time probably. The main thing is having the ideas. Like all these tools are so powerful, but yeah, it doesn't matter if you don't have good ideas. Claude says it fixed the problem. I will need to restart the dev server since packages changed. Control plus C npm run dev. What should I do? Alright, hopefully it works this time. We'll put some food in the oven, man. Compiling. Yeah, okay. Dude, I think that's all I needed to do last time. Was just refresh it after it said it was okay. That could have been it. The heck? Yeah, I just got this weird, I just got a message from Microsoft OneDrive. It says delete these items. Review the 865 items before they are deleted. You're going to delete left right dialog header.js and 863 more items. What should I do? Click keep or delete. Alright, at least the site is working. Just gotta test it and then. So stop, do not click delete. This is a classic false alarm. If I click delete, it will wipe out my entire project. Click keep, okay. Alright, let me try this out. Alright, the daily's working. Check the weekly. Yup, and it's the different RSI. And then check the monthly. The monthly, it's all in neutral. But I feel like the yearly is going to be, and that's the main one. Okay. Alright, it is working now. There is a daily, weekly, and monthly tab. I checked them all for Apple. They are all showing up different RSIs for each tab. I think that it is very important to have a yearly. Would it be easy to change it from daily, weekly, and monthly to daily, monthly, and yearly? And I just checked in a browser window, and yeah, it's I just checked Coinbase doc, because in my opinion that is a very good example of something that is it's only been around for like 5 years, and right now in my opinion it should be like really oversold, and that's exactly what it said. Alright, paste this into the Claude Code terminal for the yearly. Like, I'm done, but like I just want to make sure it's like right. Like, this is like gonna help people, but if I just add this one thing, I can tell it'll help people so much more. So I basically just told Claude Code to the weekly, monthly tabs are great, but let's swap them for a more investor-focused view. Change the tabs to daily, monthly, and yearly. For the yearly RSI, fetch at least 20 years of data, if available. And calculate a 14-period RSI using yearly close price. Okay, update. I think 20 years is like too much, but I'd say more like 10. But anyways, yeah, this is fine. Short term, height, monthly, long term, trend, yearly generational value, exactly. You are asking me if we should have Claude pull the trigger on the yearly tab. I do not understand what you are asking me. I just gave it the prompt that you made for it to add that tab. So didn't I do that already? And see, it's even saying, like, that's what I noticed. It's like almost no tools show the yearly. Like that. Yeah, I was right. I already did the work. Pull the trigger comment was just a bit of text slang. I meant that now that we're just waiting for the agent to finish its mission, rewriting the code. And it's like updating in real time. Yeah, and it even explains it too to like new people, like daily, short-term hype, monthly, long-term trend, yearly, generational value. That's exactly, yes, this is perfect. Somebody in the comments said that I am locally hosting. Okay, cool. I don't understand why they would say that. I'm locally hosting. That just means I'm only using this app here and I have not made it available for anyone on the web. Is that correct? So yeah, the last thing I can think of to do is try a stock like Coinbase that's only been around for like 5 years, and then try it in the yearly because it said it's doing 20 years, so it just shouldn't. Okay, try Apple on the yearly tab and send me a screenshot. Yes, okay, see, that's what I'm saying. If you only look at it, Apple, on these like daily and monthly, right? It's going to be like it's neutral. But if you actually look at it for generational value, like you would want to buy, especially a beginner would want to buy a stock like this, it's going to be like extreme hype, historically overbought, caution. Like that's exactly what I want people to know. Like this is, dude, I need to keep going with these finance apps. Like this is what's up. Like I understand this. Alright. Alright. So now like I'll try Coinbase, right? This is only like 5 years old. But like right now, I know this is like a good, like Coinbase in my opinion is a really good generational buy, but it's only been around for like 5 years, so you can't get that much data. So check the daily of Coinbase, right? Oversold value. The monthly, it should still be oversold. Maybe neutral on the monthly. Okay, but then yearly, it hasn't been around that long. So it just, okay, within, yeah, it just says neutral because it hasn't been around that long. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Because it wouldn't matter. There is no generation. There is no yearly RSI in that anyway. Alright, yeah, this is exactly what I, like, this is better than I even thought of, like, my original, yes, okay. Yeah, that was right about it only being able to, it's locally, so only I can run it, and then I want to give out a link so anybody can run it, and I'll just do that tomorrow because my food's almost done cooking, and that's perfect timing because this is done. So looks like I just have to restart the dev server, then npm run dev, and that's all I got to do, and I'm done, hopefully. Okay. Claude is saying that I'll need to restart the dev server, Control+C, then npm run dev. It also says try Apple on the yearly tab and send me a screenshot. I tried Apple on the yearly tab and it did exactly what I wanted it to do. Do I still need to send Claude a screenshot when everything is working perfect? Yeah, this is a huge win. Just type, here's the yearly tab working perfectly. But I don't want to add anything. This is good for like this. Yup. Now I still need to... I do not want to add anything to this app. I'm not going to send it the screenshot. Do I still need to hit Control+C, then npm run dev? And what terminal do I do this in? Yeah, I think I see why that didn't work before. Okay. It didn't really freeze before. I just didn't like if when it freezes like that and I refresh the browser, then it's like it's done. So yeah, let me try it. Nvidia. See, look at Nvidia. When you look at these things, like the way the media describes it on daily, monthly, it's like it's just average. But when you look at a yearly for like generational value, extreme hype, extreme, like, yeah, okay, I did it, I made it. So yeah, I'm gonna end this now. I can't believe I've been on this for like 4 hours, but whatever. I mean, I did it better than I even thought. And then probably what I'll do is I'll just like do this other stuff after I'm done eating that's not on live stream. But then when I come on next time, I'll have it ready to just share the link with anybody. And then yeah, create a new app tomorrow, and then hopefully I'll do it quick. I should be a lot quicker today, so then I can have time to go market both of these apps. Okay. Alright, I am done for today. Is there anything that I need to do to save this project? I am going to do all the other steps to get it live later. Alright, yeah, Claude saves automatically. Alright, we got the yearly generational value logic locked in. I'm shutting down the local engines for today. Next time we're going to push this live so you guys can check your own favorite tickers. Yeah, I'm just going to do it and then you'll have it next time. Awesome. Yeah, that's good. So, yeah, that's the end of the stream for today. Hope you got some value out of what I had to say. Coming through soon with something new with no delay. Alright, out.